Good morning, everyone, and thank you for coming. On behalf of the mentors of SCORE Cape Fear Region and the local team from the Mass Mutual Financial Group of North Carolina, we thank you all for coming on this very steamy last day of summer. This morning's program is going to be informational, motivational, and magical. You will walk away with knowledge about the services that SCORE, the SBA, and Mass Mutual provide. And we're going to take an imaginary trip to the happiest place on earth. Before I turn this over, I'd like to tell you a little bit about our Master of Ceremonies. Arthur Cariff joined SCORE in 2001. He's influenced our chapter with his dedication, his keen sense of humor, and his business acumen. He's also a member of the Cameron Executive Network at UNCW, where he mentors along with being a guest lecturer. Arthur's also a very active member of the Temple of Israel and has helped raise $1.6 million for their new construction of their new school. So without further ado, please welcome a man of many talents, our Master of Ceremonies and SCORE mentor, Arthur Cariff.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Everybody ready for that magical trip today? Yes. Great. Well, as you heard, I'm Art Cariff. I've been a SCORE mentor for about 14 or 15 years. Love every minute of what I do. So before we get started today, and my role is to tell you a little bit about SCORE, let me ask, how many of you are familiar with SCORE, really familiar with SCORE? Oh, great, great. And how many of you are currently SCORE clients or have had family that's been helped by a SCORE mentor? Super. Well, thank you to everybody. So for those of you who don't have a good feel for what SCORE does, what we do is we provide free and confidential counseling to people that want to start a small business and to businesses already established that have problems that need to be addressed. We do this free. Every one of us mentors at absolutely no cost to you, no cost to the U.S. government, no cost to anybody. We do it because we want to give back to our community. So before we take a look at SCORE, Southeast Region, let's talk a little bit about SCORE USA. SCORE is a huge organization excuse me, and is a resource partner of the SBA. If you take a look at the top left corner, what you're going to see is that there are over 11,000 volunteers at SCORE. And truthfully, 40 paid employees are managing the entire corporation. Now, if you take a look at those 11,000 volunteers, what did they give back? Well, they gave back 2 million hours in donated time. 2 million hours to make small businesses grow and be successful. And if you were to convert that $2 million to, in fact, a dollar value, SCORE mentors across the country have given back $500 million in pro bono fee to help small business. Now, I always like to talk about the numbers, but you know what? The numbers really don't mean a lot. What means a lot is what did all those hours do? And what all those hours did is it helped develop 54,000 new businesses in 2015. That's an incredible amount of businesses, or what it means is that SCORE counselors and mentors throughout the country are generating over 1,000 new businesses per week. And the more important part of that number is that there are about 1.4 people per business. Now, obviously, what that means is some have 5, some have 2, some have 1. But the continuing factor of the growth of small business continues to prove that small business is the economic engine that's driving America. And another interesting statistic that you're going to look at is the fact that female-owned businesses are approaching 60% of the SCORE client base. And by the way, in this area, our client base is running close to 70% female versus male. So let's talk a little bit about the Cape Fear chapter. An incredible chapter. We service the 7 counties of southeast North Carolina, including New Hanover, Brunswick County, Burgaw, and so forth. And by the way, 50% of our business comes from New Hanover, our client base. 25% from Brunswick County, and 25% from the remaining 5 other counties. So what we're going to start to see is how this develops into our business plan of serving Southeast North Carolina. And again, I want to remind everybody that what we do, when you come in to see us, is provide free and confidential counseling to every single person that comes in. Now, we have 36 mentors with hugely diverse skill sets, and you're going to see those in a minute. Why is that important? Well, you'll see on the next slide. But let's talk about if you had an opportunity to start a business, if you had an opportunity, a desire, a vision to start a business, when you come into SCORE, you're dealing with mentors who have over 1,300 years business experience. And what that means is, if I can't help you, I'll find somebody else that can help you, and we'll teach you, because we've been there, we've done that, we've made mistakes, and you're going to profit from us being there, done that, and from our mistakes. So take a look at the skill sets. This is just a few of the skill sets. But to give you an example, my background is in strategic marketing, sales, and international business. Now, all that's wonderful, but it isn't too helpful if you're opening up a production facility. Or it isn't too helpful if you need advice on taxes. So I'm going to put you with a master tax planner. Or I'm going to put you with a production person who's been, like many of us, with Fortune 100 companies, who has the expertise to help you develop what you need. And those skill sets are what drives how we do things. We don't teach from a book. We teach from experience. And experience is life's best teacher. So what do we do? Well, we do 3 things. We educate, we consult, and we mentor. And let's talk about educate first. Because every person that comes into SCORE comes in with a vision. I want to do this. I want to do that. I want to be this, or I want to be that. And think that when they walk through the door, we're going to immediately start telling them how to be this or that. Nothing could be further from the truth. When you come into SCORE, we have an obligation to assess, by listening carefully to what you're doing, if you have an opportunity to be successful in the business that you're going into. And secondly, if you have the capability, drive, and stamina to run that business. And if you don't meet either of those, we're going to tell you, you really go into that business. Now, why is that important to stop you from going into business? Quite frankly, most of us who go into business are either going to put up our life savings to go into business, or if we need a loan from the bank, if we need an SBA-backed loan from the bank, we're going to have to put up collateral. And if you think about it, that's kind of an oxymoron, because if you're going for a loan, where are you getting capital from? So the truth of the matter is, most often, people will put up their home, the equity in their home. And I can honestly tell you there isn't one mentor at SCORE who wants to see you go into a business where you're going to lose your investment. And I can also tell you, and we have a number of bankers sitting here today, the banks, quite frankly, don't want to be in the real estate business. They don't want to own your home. So that's why we're very, very cautious. So before I go to the next issue, let me just also say, if you say to us, quite frankly, sir, I want to go in that business, I think I can do well, we're going to help you go into that business, even though we don't have the same level of confidence you have. So we'll work with you and move you to the next level. Now, what do you think the #1 business is that people like to start in Southeast North Carolina? How did everybody know that? So I know we have restaurant owners here, and they're doing great, and there's lots of great restaurants. But what do you think when people say, I want to go in the restaurant business, what do you think the #1 reason is they want to go in that business? The reason they want to go in that business, and maybe you said this, I didn't hear you, is because every time somebody comes to my house and has dinner, they tell me what a great cook I am, and I ought to be in the restaurant business. And my answer to that is simple. Great. Since the bank isn't going to give you a loan, get your friends to give you a loan. In any case, once we get by that, we start the counseling process. And what the counseling process is very simple. We're going to work to make your business a deliverable. We're going to work to make you a success. And you're going to work to make your business a success. And we're going to tell you, if you're starting a new business, you're going to do a business plan, you heard in the video, and you're going to do cash flow. And 9 times out of 10, after we pick up people off the floor because they don't have any idea how to do it, we then say, but we're going to help you. And if you tell me, I'm not doing a business plan, and I don't want to do a cash flow, my answer to you, sir or madam, is, thank you for coming in. I can't help you. If you're not willing to invest in your future, I certainly, who am giving up my time for free, my energy for free to help you, why would I want to help you if you don't have the, pardon me, if you don't have the need or see the need to in fact do better? Okay, so the last part of that before we go to this next slide is, once you leave us, we're going to mentor you. And when we mentor you, it means we're going to talk to you constantly. We're going to call you up. We're going to invite you to come back in. And by the way, people don't believe this, but we have SCORE clients who have been in 50, 60 times. And we love it because it means we're helping you. I put this slide up because I want to talk to you about the bottom checkpoint, obtaining an SBA loan. So I know Don Spry is going to talk a little bit to that, but I'm just going to tell you 2 things. One, there ain't no free lunch, and you can't get a loan if you're not going to put up collateral. And if you don't have collateral, then you're going to have to either seek an outside source for funding, whether it be a different type of lender, or you're going to have to see family and friends. And second, if your credit score isn't in the high 6s, low 700s, you can't get an SBA loan. So you need to work on that before you come in, if you're going to require a loan. Now, let's talk about what's happened with SCORE in the Cape Fear region. Well, we've had an unbelievable year. Unbelievable. Through July, we've had almost 250 new clients. Through July, we have had almost 500 total clients. Those are returning clients, clients who have been in to see us before. And when you look at everything put together, we have performed over 1,200 services. And those services are events like this, other types of expositions, and other types of affairs where we talk, be it clubs, be it the Lions Club, be it the Rotary Club, etc. Now, those numbers by year end will probably be close to 400 new clients, 600 returning clients, and about 2,000 events. Why is that important? Because we do it for you. We do it because we want small businesses to grow. We want businesses that have problems to get their problems behind them and grow. And if you take and say, gee, I wonder what that's worth. Well, the SCORE mentors, the 36 SCORE mentors, are going to give back this year to these communities that you saw on the map before upwards of $500,000 in pro bono time. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is really what it's all about. It's giving back with a value and seeing results. So, in closing, what I just want to say is that when you come into SCORE, I talked to you before about coming in with a vision. We're going to take that vision. We're going to take that vision clearly, and we are going to work with you to plan how to move that vision to the next level. And once we get it to the next level, we're going to deliver together, with your help and your mentor's help, a package that's going to allow you to either grow in business, go in business, or correct your business. And then, once that's delivered, we're going to ensure that when you walk out the door and turn the key in your business, that you have gotten the best help possible. And that's what SCORE delivers, ladies and gentlemen. SCORE delivers success. Thank you very much for your time, and enjoy the rest of the day. Our next speaker is Don Spry. Don is with the U.S. Small Business Administration, the SBA. Don serves as the Senior Area Manager for the U.S. Small Business Administration. In this position, he provides outreach, training, and access to capital assistance, as well as consultative business management services to businesses and lenders in the 25 counties in South and East North Carolina. Don has been with the U.S. federal government for 27 years, serving in many senior administrative positions, also in marketing and management, and has spent time overseas in the UK and England with the federal government. During his career, Don has been awarded several professional and community service awards, including in 2010, when he was recognized as Citizen of the Year by the Hampstead Chamber of Commerce for his community outreach and small business economic development. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Don to the podium. Thank you, sir.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. How are you? I used to say that a lot, but now I've found with the HB2 law, it's probably better to say, hey, y'all. Very, very glad to be here. First of all, can I have the folks from SCORE please stand up for just a moment? Thank you. SCORE takes volunteering, to me, to a whole new level. This SCORE chapter is ranked, I believe, number 3 in the country, am I correct, for the kind of service it provides. And one thing, Peter, do I have a clicker here? Thank you. One thing that SCORE, the Small Business Development Centers, Veterans Business Outreach Centers, Women's Business Centers, and others provide are services which allow for a vetting process to occur to help that client get access to capital, to grow their business, to make it more profitable. So SBA, which began in 1953 as a contracting agency after the Korean War, we started with the process first to make our country stronger through that war process. And as a contracting agency, we retained a lot of different key federal programs. However, the backbone of what we do is the training, mentoring, and counseling process that SCORE, SBTDC, and others provide. So I can say this, that for folks here looking for capital, looking to grow their business, working with SBA resource providers will make you more profitable, will help you develop a business plan to keep you on track and grow that business. I believe it's really a vetting process for folks to become successful. To consider this, 90+% of small businesses that will start from startup will fail within 5 years. That's just a hard and fact SBA statistic. However, those folks that take the time to put together a vetting process of a full-time business, a business plan, some equity of unencumbered equity into the business, having a professional financial plan as well. Those folks that do that process will be successful just for an SBA loan over 91% of the time and paying off a loan over 7 to as long as 10 years. So we take a major F-, if it would be called that, in terms of the ordinary process that most folks encounter and turn it into an A- through the vetting process that SBA provides. I've only got about 5 minutes here, but want to say very quickly, we are a direct lender for disaster recovery as well. This is obviously a place where we always got to be concerned about what's coming in off the water. And we provide our loan guarantees between 75 and 85% through our banking system, which is still the best and greatest banking system in the world. And again, we provide equality in government contracting through the 8A and HUBZone programs. Very key opportunities, and I'm very, very pleased when I talk to folks how successful we've been to go ahead and bring in a lot of minorities, women-owned business, small and disadvantaged businesses that have become just fantastic success stories through those contracting programs. And when will a person or a banker consider to make use of an SBA guarantee? First, it's whenever the standard underwriting process simply just does not work with the bank and the client. Doesn't make you a bad person or a bad risk. In fact, what it allows you to do is then take advantage of some of the protections that the SBA guarantee provides. And ordinarily, it's through collateral shortfalls, less than 2 years in business or startups, which banks usually will not touch, and also provides a longer term than a traditional bank note. And for folks who are seeking to take advantage of SBA for some of the protections, one key thing is whenever a bank is offering a deal, traditionally a 3-year balloon or a 5-year balloon note, you can then say, could I take a look at an SBA note for 7 to 10 years fully amortized? And we also offer a very key program called the 504 Commercial Real Estate that I think is the single best loan program that the SBA provides, because you can get into commercial real estate for as little as 10% down with up to 20 years on a fixed note. 2 main programs, just kind of ripping and running here. The 7A, which is a broad general financing program, and then again, the 504 Commercial Real Estate Program through the 5 Certified Development Corporations. And since bankers, how many bankers we have here today? Got a few, not as many as I thought we would have today, but ultimately, the 5 C's always apply. Once again, the SBA stops in and says, because we provide a collateral of between 75 and 85% as a taxpayer guarantee, that means your equity into the deal can be as little as 15% in some cases. As Art mentioned, you've still got to have some skin in the game. That's what the SBA likes. But ultimately, we are here to service you and provide opportunities to help folks figure a way to go ahead and create their own opportunities in life, to grow their business and find new ways to create success in the community. Last piece, just go ahead and follow the vetting process we have in place. It is there, and it is proven over 62 years that it does work. One thing I'd like to make a note of for you lenders out there, we are moving in a direction to provide a lot more services to make even low-volume lenders to have opportunities to engage in the SBA lending practice. SBA 1 has just recently rolled out. It gives low-volume lenders a chance to kind of use like a QuickBooks application process for your clients to have a chance to put in those numbers directly and get the guarantee for your small business loan. The 504 refinancing has been reemerged and is now a permanent piece of the SBA product line. Before it was a temporary solution we had. This is a great way for a lot of folks who have commercial real estate to refi to get that 20-year fixed note. It would be a blended note between your bank and the SBA. But with that blended note, this is a great way to refinance perhaps in a better vehicle structure for your company. And last piece, Link is also here now for a lot of companies and individuals seeking to match up with a lender for a small business loan. So we have all the time new online programs coming out, hopefully a benefit to you, and certainly if I can be of service to you, one last slide, please give me a call. I'm from the government and I'm here to help. Okay.
Good job. I don't know about Don's last comment. I'm from the government and I'm here to help. But truthfully, he is here to help. So, our next speaker is from Mass Mutual Financial Group, Scott Burrell. And for those of you who don't know, Mass Mutual is a national partner with SCORE. Scott is the Area Managing Director for Massachusetts Mass Mutual Financial Services. He is a native Wilmingtonian. How about a clap of hands for that? And after graduating from Clemson University, he started his career selling orthopedic implants. After almost 9 years, he decided it was time to make a career change and join New York Life Insurance, where he received his financial teaching. He earned his Series 6 and 63 securities prior to starting a branch of the Mass Mutual Financial Group in Wilmington in 2013. Scott's areas of expertise include estate planning to high net worth individuals, family business planning, where he holds the designation Certified Family Business Specialist from the America College, and SBA collateralized life and disability policies. To tell us more, please welcome Scott Burrell.
I get called Scott Burrell, which is correct. Scott Burrell, Scott Burrell, Scott everything, so, but at least I get called. I am that white elephant, that white giraffe that you never get to see. I'm from Wilmington, which is kind of a cool thing. Live right down the road, was born literally half a mile down the road. I'm the son of a banker and the husband of a banker. So I have an actual prayer team that prays for me every day. They pray for my wife even harder. Did everybody understand Don's talk about the banking and the collateralized loans and all that? Because most people normally don't understand SBA at all. I happen to get it, being in the banking family my entire life. One thing I don't understand with the bankers is my dad would come home and he'd tell me, man, we did this loan today and it's on this really cool business. My wife will come home during the evenings and talk to us and, hey, I'm working on this loan for X, Y, and Z company. It's a really cool thing. And did you know that they do this and that and the other? And I've looked at both of them before, and I said, why in the world are we working for corporate America and not going into business for ourselves with all these great ideas that you see every single day? Both of them had the exact same answer. Business owners are crazy. And they are. To own a small business, you got to be out of your mind. You got to kind of take a leap of faith to get into something that you didn't know a lot about, but you believed in, you have your heart into it, and you got to have guys like Don and SCORE to come back in and really push you forward and really show you the way. From the day one that you start your business or you start thinking about your business, SCORE is a great opportunity to get in and get the mentor and the years and years of experience. No bad remarks on age there. But they have years and years of experience to put in to show you how to kind of start up your business. We're the group that comes in, as was mentioned, I have my certified family business specialty degree. That means that I go in there and I look at small family businesses. I'm not looking at PPD or GE or large corporations like that. I'm looking for the mom and pop store that have a key salesperson, somebody that really wants to take their business down to their children and hand that off someday. That's what my agents and myself do. We're really good at being able to say, okay, day one, here's where we need to kind of start launching your business and really getting some good pieces in place. And then 2-3 years down the road, here's how we're really going to grow your business. Here are the types of policies and investments that you need to make into your business to grow your business. And oddly enough, I'm not a statistics guy, but 7 out of 7 people in North Carolina will exit their business someday. They're either going to, it's as high as 10 out of 10 in South Carolina, oddly enough. They're either going to retire, they're going to quit, or they're going to die in their business. So that business has got to go on to the next generation. Some way, somehow, some form. You either got to get rid of it and sell it to somebody else, or you got to pass it along to your kids. And we're really, really good at doing that. We're trying to do that in a tax-favorable way. I see 3-4 good family business people in this room that I personally know their family business. I know what they do. I've seen how they operate their business. Why do we have a relationship with the SBA? Why do I understand SBA so much? One, the banking aspect of it. I understand a lot about it. But two, we have, at MassMutual, have this really cool thing called a quick close program. You come to me, Don comes to me and says, Scott, I need a term life insurance policy for $1.5 million, and hopefully the wife doesn't kill me off, right? So I say, sure, Don, let's fill out the application, let's make sure that this fits, let's make sure that everything's good to go. How long does it take before Don actually gets that insurance policy in his hand? Any guesses? A month? Any other guesses? 10 days? 10 days is wrong. Way off. It's legitimately a month, month and a half, 2 months. All day, every insurance company that we sell for. And that's just the nature of the beast. He's betting that he's going to die. We're betting that he's not. He's probably going to win. But hopefully he has the coverage in place, right? People ask me, what do you do for a living? Well, I'm a legal bookie. I'm betting that you won't die, and you're betting that you will. What are my odds? Pretty good. But that's a long time in the SBA world. They can only have financials that are 90 days old. So for the bankers in here, especially the SBA bankers, 2.5 months isn't good, because you go to your client and you say, hey, we're going to get this loan for you. It's going to be really, really cool. You need to get your financials in place. We need to talk to your CPA. We need to talk to your attorney, get all the documents in place. And oh, by the way, you got to have life insurance. The client sits there and goes, okay, my crazy Uncle Larry, he sells life insurance for XYZ company, and I'll call him up this week. He didn't call him up that week. He waits 2 weeks, and he finally calls him and says, crazy Uncle Larry, I need a life insurance policy. I'm starting a new business, and I've got to have this for the bank. Crazy Uncle Larry goes, okay, well, I can fit you in next Thursday, if that's cool with you. Crazy Uncle Larry comes by. He sits down. He has lunch. He talks about him. He talks about himself. And then finally, he goes, okay, well, I'll send you the application early next week. Well, 3 or 4 weeks have gone by. And now all of a sudden, we have a life insurance policy that's not in place when the loan closes. What does that mean? The loan doesn't close. They cannot close the SBA loan without a life insurance policy as collateral to make up the difference of the collateral. So why am I up here talking about life insurance as a collateralization for loans? Well, quick close, right? It's a program that MassMutual came in and goes, man, that is a long time for life insurance to come in and for us to get a policy out to the bank. So how can we shorten that? Well, we have about 300 underwriters in Springfield, Mass. that do everyday, Don Spry's, Scott Burrell's, Megan's, they do everyday life insurance, whether it's estate planning, whether it's just I need a term policy so that if something bad happens to me, I can pass it along to my wife. And then they decided, well, if we have a separate loan or underwriting department over here that just does collateralized bank loans, that's it, whether it's commercial or SBA, we could shorten down the time into about a 10-day time period. So the 10-day was correct. You jumped ahead. So we can actually take that month and a half, 2-month process and move it into an average of 8 to 10 days. To a bank, that's huge. Now, what does it cost the customer? Double, triple? It doesn't. It's the exact same policy I would have written on Don as a personal person. It's just sped up in the underwriting department. So banks really enjoy us. It sounds really too good to be true. It's not. We have done probably 200 of them this year, probably 700 of them since we opened our office here in Wilmington a few years ago. And I've got a team of people that do it. I can't do that many by myself. I just can't physically keep up with them. I've got agents in the room and several agents back at the office that hopefully are working right now that do this sort of stuff. They do it all the time. They understand the ins and outs. Crazy Uncle Larry doesn't know what a collateralized form is. He doesn't know how to get that to the bank. We're really good at doing that. So for the bankers in the room, believe us when we tell you we're it. There's really no competition to what we do. We understand what's going on. For the small business owners, the crazy people in the room, get in touch with us. We're really good at kind of moving you along, protecting what you've got in place, investing in your people. We had a client that came to us. He said, man, I've got this consulting business and it's doing really well. I said, well, great. Let's figure out, A, how much is it worth? We did a business valuation on them. And what can you sell it for at some point? Because he wants to sell it in about 7 or 8 years. He said, I don't know. So we did a sellability score on there. How much can you actually get out of your business? Because it can be worth whatever it is on paper, but it's only worth what you're actually going to sell it for, what somebody's willing to pay for it. So we kind of broke it down and looked at everything. We found 2 key salespeople in his organization. I said, man, these guys are bringing in like 80% of your customers every year. What happens if they leave? What happens if they go away? Oh, they'll never go away. They're going to go away. They're going to start their own business. They're going to go to somebody else. Heck, if I had that business, I'd steal. And they're great people. They're doing 80% of your profit in here. So how do we keep those people in there? And we have a lot of different plans. One of them in that scenario was golden handcuffs, putting some type of a bonus system in place to keep that employee there. Now, this guy said, sure, let's look at this again in July. This was January. Perfect. We'll call you back in July. We kept up with him about every single month. I called him in July. I said, man, it's time for us to sit down and meet. I can't right now. I'm so busy. I'm trying to get sales up. Oh, that's great. That's good news. He goes, no, it's not good news. Why not? Because my salespeople left. Those people that we talked about. The ones that we said, if we can put something in place and keep them there, they will do a lot of work for you and they'll be loyal to you. And he thought they were loyal people, right? We did the same thing with a pizza place here in Wilmington. Place is doing a great business. And they understood it. They understood what happened. If I owned a pizza place, I'd want this one guy to come throw pizzas up in the air and make pizzas for me. Not because his pizzas were great. They've got the recipe. But because every time I walked in that room, that restaurant, he said, hey, Scott, how you doing? Hey, Don, how are you doing? He knew everybody that walked in there. And if he didn't, he called you buddy and you felt like he knew you, right? I want that guy if I'm a pizza owner. And I will go in there and I will try to steal that guy away as quickly as I can as another pizza owner business. But they understood it, and they said, absolutely, we want to put some type of piece in place to keep this guy here forever and ever and ever. So we agreed to do a life insurance policy where they put a lot of money into this life insurance policy, and at some time during the future, at agreed upon time, they'd give that life insurance policy to him, and it'd be tax-free money for him. That was a great deal, and that would have held that guy there. They said, let's sign the paperwork next Wednesday. I came in, this was on a Friday. Came into the office on Monday. One of my agents looked at me and said, did you hear what happened? No, what happened? Well, Bobby died yesterday. Wow. So it's not something that you can push off. It's not something that you can wait on. If you've got a small business, you're crazy first and foremost for even doing it. But listen to me when I tell you to bring in somebody like ourselves. You've already gotten the SCORE people involved. That's incredible. The SBA is one of the best resources for small business. I can't say as many good things as about the government, but that's one of them right there. Work for the government. That's good. But then bring in somebody like ourselves. We have the knowledge, the family business background, the small business. We're not going after the big businesses. We're not going after those people. We're not just your average life insurance company. We're actually planners. So thank you for joining us at Cape Fear. Thank you for coming to Wilmington for the outside people that did. And we've had a lot of bad things happen in our nation recently. Last night in Charlotte, we had some more bad stuff go on. I don't know if you read the news this morning. Keep those people in your prayers. God tells us to love one another as we do ourselves. Not love the same race, not love the same sex, not the same person that goes to the same bathroom as you. Love one another. And if we can do that, I think that will make us all successful, not only in our lives, but as well in our business as well. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to end in about 1 minute. I just want to do one thing. Sarah, hang on a second, please. As most of you know, these types of events don't happen unless somebody has put months and months of work into them. Somebody puts this venue together, somebody puts the timetable together, somebody gets the speakers, and somebody does all the work. The people that get the applause are guys like John and myself and Don and Scott who are up here talking. But somebody who deserves all the applause is Sarah Raleigh. Sarah put together, there she is over there. Sarah put this all together. Sarah, come on, we got a little gift for you. Thank you very much for attending. Would the SCORE people please wait till everybody's gone? Have a wonderful day, and we're going to look forward to seeing you next year. Thank you.